should never overlook the fact it was when the Longi government sought to privatise the ownership of the licences, the permits and the entitlements, and there was no scope for addressing historical Māori claims to fisheries, then the battle royal commenced.
The government is using the democratic process to justify illegal tactics.
The Minister of Fisheries and his ministry have said one thing and done another.
It's no more racist than the whole of the Treaty of Waitangi is racist.
The fisheries that Maoris knew in 1840 are not the commercial fisheries now.
Sir Graham, who owns fishing in New Zealand?
Well, that's a matter that you'll have to wait and see.
Despite the Waitangi Tribunal proposing that the Ministry of Fisheries stop their allocation of ITQ, they continued, and that's when, in the late 80s, it was necessary to take the issue to the High Court.
Te Tiriti o Waitangi makes certain promises to Māori, and Article 2 confirms Māori property rights. It confirms our tino rangatiratanga over our whenua and our taonga, and fisheries is one of those. And so the inclusion of a specific recognition of Māori customary fisheries rights is what enabled the legal case to be taken against the Crown. But the challenge was, what does Māori customary fisheries mean?
Justice Greig relied on evidence that we've been trading fish to Sydney and Hobart prior to the Treaty of Waitangi. We stored and traded fish with other tribes, and that constituted barter, and barter constituted a commercial activity.
Justice Greig made what was to be quite an important decision to say that Māori had fishing rights. Those fishing rights were practiced by hapu and iwi, and they had not been extinguished.
But the Māori negotiators were assembled, and it's the same negotiation team that did the interim settlement. Machu was the leader, Sir Graham was the power broker. He kept everybody together. Bob Mahuta was there from Waikato. Bob had been away to Oxford in the 70s. And then Sir Tipene, who was running the Fisheries Commission, and he was from Ngaitahu, which had substantial claims. If you didn't have people like that, you wouldn't have been able to do it, eh?
The promises of the 1989 settlement, the Crown didn't have the quota to hand out to Māori, the 10% of inshore and deep water, because they'd given it all away to the industry.
Quota was gold at that time, so we had to find ways. So inevitably it required us to look at companies.
Sealords was for sale, and Sir Graham, he turned up and said, well, why don't we see if there's a way that we can deal with our bigger claim using this opportunity. Jim Bolger's saying, well, look, if we were going to do this, can you pull everybody together behind it? On behalf of all Māori, can you do a deal? And when they said, well, we think we can, that's when everything started to move.
Good evening. The negotiators are calling it the chance of the century, but it's a sales pitch that may not work.
These are men with a mission to explain and sell the Sealord Deal at hui like this around the country.
Remember this deal was rejected twice before by the government.
That's why government is dealing with us, because we have a court case against them.
The issue is not about what the benefits are. It's obviously got to be better than what you've got.
But the issue still remains, as if they can't sell the deal to all iwi, where does it stand?
The Crown negotiator said, look, if we're going to do this, we're going to have proof that you've got support from people. Right? You can't just tell us, you have to show us. So why don't we have a big hui in Wellington, in the beehive?
Got last probably 1 or 2 issues yet to deal with the Minister of Justice this morning.
1992, signing the Sealord Deal. It's important we not overlook how remarkable that event was.
Not everyone in the whole world got invited to that meeting.
The elements comprising the deal were still being hammered out as people arrived.
There was a scarcity of women in the room. It was all the boys from the trust boards.
One of our people had been sent an airline ticket. He didn't know what he was going down there for, given a 25-page document and about an hour or so to sign approval of it.
You know, there were people that were there who didn't want to sign things, right?
Just as there were those who didn't sign the treaty and who get the benefits of its protection.
Tensions were high between iwi throughout the country. Some of the larger iwi were dominating a lot of the dialogue and discussion at that time.
You know, there were opponents who turned up and said, well, you didn't have the authority to speak on our behalf.
We have worked very hard over the last week or so, and particularly over the last 48 hours, to see if we could reach an agreement.
All of a sudden the doors burst open and Tainui arrived. And in that classic Waikato fashion, Pumi Taituha started one of the mini karakia. And that karakia had a profound effect on all of the other tribes there, and the bickering and the growling just disappeared. Then people came and they just signed.
It was a significant enough moment that people knew that they'd given something up, but they'd also won something back. They just didn't know what it was.
And we can say that's a day well spent and a job well done. And we can look forward and say, Māori at long last will be able to take their place in the sun denied to them for so long.
Been a long time gestating, a long time working it out. It's happened. Tomorrow we take the next turn and we make the bid for Sealord.